Probably should have put the answer to the second one in the last video, but I didn't, so I'll add it into this one real quick. So we're looking at what is the balance in cost of goods sold after we've closed out all the variances, and you simply look at the balance, the unadjusted balance of 982,140, and the journal entry we created would have debited cost of goods sold for 5,500. So the ending balance after the adjustment would be, what is that? Let's see if I can just add them together here if Excel recognizes. Yep, 987,640. So that's the answer for the second requirement. But I'm going to go ahead and pull in the third requirement here that says, okay, let's pretend that the variance accounts, the differences here, are material instead of immaterial. And we're told what the prime cost is of cost of goods sold, and the prime cost of the work in process, and the prime cost of the finished goods. And the prime cost, remember, is going to be, what it takes to get the product started, which of course would be direct materials and direct labor, and we're not dealing with overhead in this problem. So that's why I left out the overhead costs. But if the amount is material, we don't shove it all through cost of goods sold, because remember that the flow I showed you before says, well, some of that cost might be somewhere along the line in work in process, cost of goods sold, or finished goods actually. And so the proration method says to take the balances before the adjustment, which are listed here, and then so I've done that down here. Here are the amounts in those three accounts where we're going to prorate that $5,500, and we take the balance and we sum all of those three items up, and you figure out what they are as a percentage of the total, and that's about 16%. I've got only going out 2 decimal points at least visual here. So what you're going to do is you're going to say that, well, this amount of the 5,500 should go to work in process, and this amount of the 5,500 should go to cost or finished goods, and this amount of the 5,500, 74%, should go to cost of goods sold. So it's a very minor change here, and obviously they're not material, but you would have cost of goods sold, you would have finished goods, and you'd have work in process that you would all have to debit to close out these variances, and the amounts are listed here. So it's 852.50 to work in process, finished goods is 588.50, and then the 4059 is cost of goods sold. So now this entry, would balance, and it's using the proration approach as opposed to pushing the entire variance to cost of goods sold.